Good afternoon and welcome to the final of the 2025 Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Good afternoon and welcome to the final of the 2025 Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. It all started 3 weeks ago with 16 nations qualified, drawn into 4 groups of 4. The best youth promises of the African continent proceeded to battle it out here in Morocco in wonderful playing conditions, eliminating each other, oftentimes in dramatic fashion. At the end of this final match, we will have newly crowned champions and will be either the hosts and returning finalists from the 2023 edition in Algeria, Morocco, or the vastly experienced two-time champions, Mali. Today's match will be played in Mohammedia, Morocco at the Al-Bashir Stadium, a venue which was the home venue for Group A, as well as the recent semi-final between Morocco and the Côte d'Ivoire. It will serve today as a stage for what's expected to be a cracking match of football in a packed venue. The Stade El-Bashir, with its 10,000 person capacity and pristine grass surface, will host the ultimate showdown between the two titans in African youth football, the Lions de l'Atlas of Morocco and les Aiglons du Mali. These two sides will be facing each other for the third time in 2 years as they begin to build a rivalry based on meeting at the highest stages. Morocco eliminated Mali from the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Algeria. It was a match that ended 0-0 in the semi-finals, went to penalties, and finished in favor for the Lions de l'Atlas, who accessed the final, but not winning, losing to Senegal. It was after a gripping shootout where Mali would surrender a lead and miss 3 spot kicks. However, the last laugh has come to les Aiglons, who got their vengeance and made amends to their supporters, defeating Morocco 1-0 at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. That would be in November 2023. Now FC Barcelona signed player Ibrahim Diarra, grabbing the winner. That was in Indonesia. This afternoon, the third time these two sides meet at the Under-17 level, matters immensely. And it won't just be an elimination match, it's for glory, history, and legacy. Morocco can cement their ascent to the top of the crop with their first ever Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations trophy, while Mali can add to their already impressive trophy cabinet with a third Africa Cup of Nations, being the first Under-17 delegation to reach that feat and accomplishment. Mali, who finished second in their group, which was Group D, were amongst the first to clinch their spot for the knockout phases, thanks to their back-to-back group stage wins against Angola and Central African Republic. They were also one of the first to stamp their tickets for the Under-17 World Cup, which will be played later on this year in Qatar from November 3rd to November 27th. Their manager, Adama Diafra, did set out high expectations of doing better than their previous campaign in 2023. And by reaching the final, he's accomplished it. In his pre-match interview just minutes ago, he said that he was delighted to be in the final. The whole team was. But now that they're here, they will give it their all. By winning today, Adama Diafra would become only the third coach to guide Mali Under-17s to the continental glory, following the footsteps of Baiba in 2015 and Jonas Kromland in 2017. Morocco, however, has not had an easy ride in this competition. In the semi-finals, they had to dig deep against a tenacious Côte d'Ivoire side. They suffered in a 0-0 match, not exactly showing and reflecting their offensive output, but they learned from it. They would win 4-3 on penalties. The hero was Chouaib Belarouche, their goalkeeper, making 3 saves in the shootout. In the quote, the manager said, "Nabil Baha, this match forged us, showed we can suffer and bounce back. It also proved we're mentally ready for this kind of battle." Through many scenarios are possible, Baha and his staff have considered them all scoring early, defending the lead, coming back from behind, going to penalties. We prepared for every possibilities. Finals like this are decided on the smallest of details, on freshness on the moment, and our players are ready. Morocco started off with a 5-0 victory, then a 3-0 in their last group stage match. They have the highest goal scoring output between the two sides. We will see shortly after the break.
Here, we're known for our sense of service. It's all about finding ways to support you. Day after day, doing everything we can to be useful and providing energy in all its forms. Everywhere, every time, all across the continent.
And we are back as we have seen the flags being displayed of the Africa Cup of Nations. Officials are present. On your left, flag of the Lions de l'Atlas. On the right, les Aiglons de Mali. Match official, the Namibian referee, Twanyanukwa Ansino, will be officiating this match. Focus on all the faces, as this is a monumental moment in youth football. Of course, the under-17 tournament all started off in 1995 as a finals tournament, originally serving as a qualifier for the under-17 World Cup. In that first edition, Mali lost the final to Ghana, 3-1. But a young Stephen Appiah in their ranks. Ghana would also go on to win the under-17 World Cup that same year. Since then, the tournament's been played every 2 years, except in 2021 when COVID-19 shut it down. Interestingly enough, in 2021, it was Morocco who were supposed to host. And as we see, the camera closes in on captain of Morocco, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, the 16-year-old. Plays his club football at AS Monaco. Recently professionally signed. Was man of the match on match day 1 for Morocco in their victory against Uganda. Will now be charged with leading his side out the tunnel at home at the Stade El Bachir in Mohammedia. It's going to be one of these two captains who will lift the trophy. Will it be Issa Tounkara or Ilyes Ben Mokhtar? Les Aiglons de Mali, the visitors, taking on the host, Morocco. Mali, with their 2 titles in 2015-2017, are tied with Cameroon, the Gambia, Nigeria, and Ghana. They're the most decorated teams. If they win today, they will be the only side to have a 3rd title in under-17 history. Morocco could be the side to finally lift it up for the first time. Having reached the final in 2023, they faltered at the finish line. But today at home, they should have their confidence boosted, especially with the words of their manager, Nabil Baha, who did say that if we play our football, showcase our defensive strength, we are the best team tactically. Now it's time for the national anthems. Le Mali, otherwise known as Pour l'Afrique et pour toi. That was the national anthem of the visitors. Time for the anthem of Morocco, the Sherifian anthem. thunderous applause at the Stade El Bachir. 10,000 people capacity. Great playing conditions on this grass surface. Show respect between these two sides. Again, it's only the third time that the under-17 Mali team take on the under-17 of Morocco. They met each other twice in 2023, both in knockout phases. This will be the first time they ever meet in a final. It's Morocco's second final. In 2023, they accessed it against Senegal, and here we are for the starting lineup. Chouaib Belarouche, the hero in the semi-final, gets the starting goal. Familiar back four of Zekri, Alesheikh, El Masoudi, and Bouhadi. A midfield five of El Aoud, Wazan, Wahabi, El Halfouyou, and Bet Mokhtar. And the striker and son of coach Ziad Baha gets a start in the number 9 position. He'll be charged with scoring the goals. Ziad Baha already has 4 this tournament so far, but he'll also be able to count on Ilyes Beg Mokhtar, who has 3, as well as perhaps even Abdallah Wazan, the Ajax Amsterdam youth player. Very tactically solid side, scored 11 goals in this tournament and have only conceded once. They will rely on their defensive strength, that is for sure. The official will be female referee Ansino Twanyan Mukwa from Namibia. She'll be supported by Salim Alau, Nancy Kasitu, and Brighton Shimene. Of course, there is also video assistant referee in the Africa Cup of Nations under-17 tournament. So after our contentious decisions, they can be reviewed. Here comes a coin flip. Ansino is the only Namibian referee chosen for this tournament. Here in the VAR room, Yasser Ahmed Abdelaziz and Sadou Ali Brahamou. Time for Mali's starting lineup. Lamine Sinaba getting his 3rd start of the tournament. He featured in the semi-final, did well convincingly. The back four is familiar as well as Konate, Berté, Camara, and Keita. Midfield 3 of Doumbia, Seydou Dembélé, Souleymane Dembélé, the star number 10, Souleymane Doumbia, and the front 3 of Mamadou Traoré, Ndjikoua Bamba, and Soumaïla Fane. Fane, who distinguished himself very much so in the semi-final, grabbing a goal and an assist. The second time he did so in this tournament. Did it against Angola as well. And now they will be led by their coach, Adama Diafra Diallo, who can now enter the legacy of Mali as the 3rd manager to win an Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Seems like it's wonderful playing conditions. 2-time champions, Les Aiglons de Mali, who are regular in this competition with 10 appearances to their name, are taking on relative newcomers, Morocco, but hosts. 2 sides that started off basically as the favorites. After 90 minutes or so, and they're not drawn together, there will be a new champion after this electrifying 2025 edition of the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. It's Mali who are starting, attacking from right to left in their white kits. We've seen them play in their green as well, but today it's their white. And the Lions de l'Atlas of Morocco, the host side, in their red and green, attacking from left to right. You can hear the noise of the crowd of the Stade El Bachir. Wonderful venue, which has hosted the Group A matches. It's Mali who get things started on the front foot. Of course, they started with possession. Morocco managed to clear their lines all the way to the goalkeeper, Lamine Sinaba, who's only conceded once as well, of course, in way less matches. At a certain time, manager Adama Diafra Diallo opted to start goalkeeper Yanis Sakho, the 15-year-old who plays his club football in France for Quevilly-Rouen Métropole. But after conceding 4 against Côte d'Ivoire on match day 3 of the group stages, and perhaps having partial responsibility in the goal conceded against Tunisia in the quarterfinal, match that ended in penalties, Diallo made the tough but perhaps prudent decision to to return to Lamine Sinaba. Paid off on the semi-final against Burkina Faso, that's for sure. They ended that match with a clean sheet, defeating the favorites, Burkina Faso 2-0. There's Nabil Barra, 43-year-old former professional, manager of Morocco. Former Morocco international, born in France as well. Took over from Saïd Chiba after the Under-17 World Cup in Indonesia. That's a risky play from Belarouche. Does well to get it out of the danger zone, but again, Belarouche showing that he is confident in his ability with the ball at his feet. The 14-year-old Aboubacar Siriki Camara. It's a speculative pass, and Njikwa Bamba is not giving up on it. Imposing himself physically and dropping down deep, as we can see him do, and we will perhaps continue to see do throughout the rest of this match. So generous in his efforts and also likes to be involved in the gameplay and the build-up play. Now dropping back to a wayward pass, and Morocco finally can perhaps settle with possession off this throw-in. Pensive posture. Adama Diafra. Throughout this tournament, he's made it known that he's very confident with the 11 players he puts on the pitch. Hasn't changed his back four. Did change his goalkeeper, however. Just have the impression that when you have the trust of Adama Diallo, means that it does believe in your ability to execute. The first foul of the match, and here's a replay of Shoaib Belarouche eliminating Bamba. He's applying pressure. Belarouche, 17 years old, only one goal conceded this tournament. It was against South Africa in the quarterfinal. Morocco would go on to win 3-1 that match. He was the hero in the semi-final. Match that ended 0-0 against Côte d'Ivoire. 3 saves in the penalty shootout. It's a long ball, and Mali will have no trouble dealing with that. It's good for Morocco here. They find themselves in the final third of Les Aiglons. They can establish their gameplay. It's a long cross. Sinaba made sure he anticipated early. Didn't allow for the trajectory of the ball to go too deep into his own area. He was lurking. It was Ilyes Belmokhtar, the AS Monaco prodigy. The home supporters here at the Al-Bashir Stadium would love to see their home side grab a goal first, and they're going forward now. Belmokhtar in the box. He has a one-on-one and he missed it. He had all the goal to aim for, but never really got his body right on it. Oh, will he live to regret that missed opportunity? That's the best one we've seen so far. If you want to keep up with the action on social media, hashtag Total Energies AFCON U-17. That was a massive opportunity, driving down the heart of the Mali defense with Abdellah Ouazzane, the Ajax youth player, 4 goals to his name. Perfectly found Ilyes Belmokhtar, who was forgotten on Morocco's right. Unbelievable that he wasn't able to open the scoring there. Of course, Ilyes Belmokhtar has 3 goals to his name. And now Issatou Kara having a discussion with the referee, Ancino. This is the second time Morocco have hosted the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. They did so in 2013. They were supposed to do so in 2021, but the COVID pandemic. Oh, this is good for Mali. They finally found their way into the box. It's not over yet, but was rendered off balance. And now Morocco on the counter-attack. Can they find something? It's really well done from Abdellah Wazan. Finds again Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. That connection is natural. It's a lofted cross. Dealt with promptly. But it seemed like Souleymane Doumbia, the center midfielder, dropping down into his own 6-yard box and made sure he kept his marker. But if we go back to that dangerous opportunity where Mali almost found themselves inside of their opponent's box, there's been some small mistakes so far, perhaps linked to the nerves of playing in a final for these sides. In terms of average age, it's pretty close to the same between the two. Morocco at 16. Mali, it's just 15.9 if you aggregate the math, but very young promises who are receiving perhaps exceptional amounts of attention. Have to focus on the task at hand and try to not pay attention to the fact that over 200 scouts have been present in Morocco for the 2025 Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, as there's a foul situation here between Ziad Baha and the captain Issa Tounkara. Seems like Issa Tounkara received an elbow in the head. Will require some medical attention. But from Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, Benfica, and Monaco, all these clubs have been present to observe some of these youth talents. It definitely was Souleymane Doumbia who came back to help extinguish the fire. And yeah, Ziad Baha enters the booking. The Real Betis forward, one of the younger players from Morocco, just 15 years of age. Don't let that fool you. He is clinical. Scored 4 times so far. There's a stoppage after it was a bit non-stop in these opening 6-7 minutes. Of course, the biggest highlight is Ilyes Ben Mokhtar presenting himself against Lamine Sinaba in that duel. Reflected on by Bamba. Zeglon are going to manage to keep possession. It's a clever back heel into the path of Souleymane Dembélé. He loves these positions, Souleymane Dembélé. But this time, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar does well under his defensive duties, only to return it to Dembélé. He's not going to give up. The GMG Academy player to cross one touch by Keita. Mali, as the visitors, are showcasing why they are one of the favorites whenever they are involved in an under-17 tournament. This is their 10th appearance. They've won the tournament twice already. They are amongst the veterans of the competition. Cornerstone of African youth football. They're so aggressive in winning the ball back. Ilyes Ben Mokhtar thought he had perhaps more time on his hands or on his feet, would you rather. He won the ball. Souleymane Dembélé. And this is better here from the Lions de l'Atlas. Charging down the middle is always Abdellah Wazan. Just seems like you can never get the ball off of him when he's charging face to the goal. And it's well won back by the fullback Boadi. He's going to follow up the play. Midfield battle. The Lions de l'Atlas have to be careful to not lose their organization and their structure, because now Mali may capitalize with the long ball in the direction of Fane. It's Soumaïla Fane. He's working his defender. He'll be looking for a corner surely. Doesn't get it. And that's just beautiful defending from Hamza Boadi, the FUS Rabat player. 16 caps already. This is his 17th for the under-17. Very experienced at number 2 from Morocco. But he's called on to defend again. Oh, he's late on the cross. Morocco had so much of presence in their own defensive area there. 4 players to Mali's 2. Unfortunately so, because they cleared the danger, but only for a throw-in. Mamadou Konaté at the duel, keeps it in play, but Morocco will usher the ball out of bounds and relieve some pressure. The opening 10 minutes, it does seem that les Aiglons de Mali are just perhaps more used to these occasions, and they're letting it show. However, Morocco's main outlet for when they are looking dangerous is clearly Abdellah Ouazzane. Dutch-born, also featured for the Dutch under-15 youth side, but switched his allegiance to Morocco. Soumaïla Fane at a duel there. It's well defended from Driss Aïtchi, center back, who offered to defend on the wing. Did so properly. As you see the supporters of les Aiglons de Mali, they're strongly present. It's been an elite tournament in terms of organization, that's for sure. Stadiums here in Morocco have strong video technology, great hotels near the venues, smooth logistics for the teams and the scouts, and that's why it's been so welcoming. It's a deep cross, and this time Elias Belmokhtar is just late to it. Perhaps there was just a little bit of an inaccurate dosage of the power on the cross, but Abdellah Ouazzane, it's him again. Seems like he's the one who's been given the keys to the offense. Abdellah Ouazzane, who can be patient, got his 2 goals in the tournament, the 81st and 84th minute against Tanzania, so it doesn't have to happen so early on in the match. There's a lot left to be played. He's nicknamed the Joker. He has received lots of praise this tournament as Soumaïla Fane wins a foul conceded by the midfielder of Morocco, Zachary El Khafoui. No pressure on the captain, Issa Tounkara, who applies too much power on that wide-spreaded ball. It's returned almost immediately to Morocco, but in terms of possession stats in these opening 15 minutes, it's no surprise if you've been watching. Mali have 69% to Morocco's 31%. However, the Lions de l'Atlas, when they do break, they go with pace, and this time they'll win a free kick in their own half. Ismail El Aoud did well there to hold on to favorable position, and it's Mamadou Traoré, the goal scorer in the semi-final, off corner. And there he is, the manager of the senior side, Walid Regragui, observing perhaps the talents of tomorrow. He's been one of the most successful managers in Moroccan history. Has really built on the work that was put in place by Hervé Renard. Started after the 2018 World Cup and then leveled up in 2022 when they reached the semi-finals in style, eliminating Portugal, Spain, taking on France all the way to the end in terms of what was a dramatic semi-final. He's really built a cohesive side, and they will be hosting the Africa Cup of Nations later on this year. Even as a host side, they played in qualification matches, showcased such good offensive prowess. It really is a bright future for the Lions de l'Atlas, with Walid Regragui at the helm. Can't underestimate them. That's much better here from Mali finally. In the last few minutes, they were struggling to create offensively, but that bit of precision and the passing worked out as they win a corner. And it's no laughing matter if Mali has a corner. They scored off one against Burkina Faso in the semi-final just a few days ago. Burkina Faso were considered to be one of the favorites. And they have presence. Whether it's Timoko Berté, who was found so many times by this man, Sedou Dembélé, well, this young player, Sedou Dembélé. Watch out for number 4, Timoko Berté. May also be Mamadou Traoré. Speaking of Timoko Berté, the referee also had her eye on him. It's going to be an in-swinging quarter for Souleymane Dembélé. Doesn't have much height, but he might get a second bite of the apple. Lays it off for his captain, Issa Tounkara, who side-foots it. Save had to be made from Shoaib Belarouche. Issa Tounkara didn't apply the most amount of pressure, looked to seem more content with guiding the ball on target with the inside of his right foot. But now here comes the Lion de l'Atlas, Ilyes Belmokhtar. He's a bit alone, but he's going to search for his teammate. He does! Oh, it's Ziad Baha, unable to find the target from close range. In a position he knows so well, the number 9 forward. 15 years old of age, but 1.83 meters tall, so is a presence in the box and clearly does work on his aerial game. Yeah, as you can see, it was pretty straightforward save to his right for Shoaib Belarouche, but an important save to make nonetheless. It went through traffic, that's for sure. And that's good. Both teams showcasing a little bit of offensive prowess. Nabil Baha in the pre-match, well, the instances before the match started when they arrived at the venue, was questioned what tactics he'll be using, and he said we are going to play our football, rely on our defensive strength. And he did say, without wanting to sound, how do we put it, overconfident, did say that we are the best tactically. Of course, his interview was conducted in French, as was Adama Diafra-Diallo's, who said that they will take the positives from what they did in beating Burkina Faso, leave out the negatives, and that they are happy to be in the final. Of course, their objectives were to do better than last edition of the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations, where they finished in 4th place. Mission accomplished, but now that they do find themselves in the final, they are not interested in just handing it to the hosts. Still 0-0 after 20 minutes of play in this wonderful venue. Mohamedia, Stade El Bachir, it's rocking. Between two sides who have faced each other previously in 2023. The Africa Cup of Nations under 17 in Algeria ended in it was a semi-final that ended in victory for the Lion de l'Atlas after a penalty shootout. Mali did go ahead in the shootout, but how do I put it? I wouldn't say they wasted their lead, but they surrendered it, missing 3. But then later on in the 2023 calendar year, they faced off in the quarterfinal of the Under-17 World Cup. That was played in Indonesia, and Mali would win 1-0. The goal coming from the path of Ibrahim Diarra, Mali forward who now plays his club football at FC Barcelona, perhaps a side that many of the viewers here are familiar with. Semi-finalists of this year's Champions League and current leaders of La Liga. So Ibrahim Diarra perhaps has a convincing enough to sign for the titan of world football, as other potential players and promises can from this edition of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. Shoaib Belarouche, the goalkeeper from Morocco, is considered to be perhaps the future of the national team. If so, and he's able to have a career as successful as Yassine Bounouz, that would already be quite a feat. Here come les Lions de l'Atlas. Too much physicality, too much momentum from the fullback, Zirkri. Trying to win the ball back. You could see that the desire was there, but the intentions were good, but pushed the man before he got the ball. That's an easy foul to give. See if Mali play the ball long. If they do so, what's going to be all important is the second ball. Who will win the second ball? Appears to be Morocco. There are calls and shouts for handball. If there really is reason to believe that there would be, there is video assistant referee available. And here's Njikwa Bamba drifting to the right. Plays a low cross into the path of Dembélé. It's into the back of the net. No, it's Soumaïla Fane. Unbelievable scenes, but now the referee blows a whistle. There will be video assistant referee check. Perhaps there's calls for offsides, but regardless, Soumaïla Fane gets his second consecutive goal and puts his side up 1-0 in the final of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. There is definitely no offsides, but he uses his hand, clearly uses his left hand to swipe the ball into the back of the net. And surely, as I said earlier, video assistant referee will be called to annul that goal. We'll see even if he's even punished with a card, because that is now glaring upon looking at the replays, and that's such a shame, isn't it? Because you can see the whole bench of Les Aiglons was cleared to celebrate. And now it's the first real contentious decision for the referee, Twanyanukwa Ansino. Surely she's getting the information in her earpiece that the hand was used. Well, Soumaïla Fane used his left hand to deflect the trajectory of that cross from a lovely cross, by the way, from Njikwa Bamba. Unfortunately, not met by a legal part of the body of Soumaïla Fane. Soumaïla Fane, who celebrated as if it would be a legitimate goal, nonetheless. They didn't indicate any behavior that he used his hand. Surprising, but also perhaps indicative of the competitive nature of this match in this final. You have to remember that these are very young players. Soumaïla Fane, 15 years of age. Win at all costs mentality, and the goal will be rightfully cancelled. Mali have not opened the scoring against Morocco, and it's to the delight of the supporters at the El Bashir Stadium. And yeah, as I perhaps predicted, there will be a yellow card dished out to Soumaïla Fane, just for the reaction as well. Cost him time. Satoum Kara, the captain of Mali, disagreeing with the decision of booking Soumaïla Fane. You can see the disappointment on his face, but nothing really to say or to do. That was an incident, that's for sure. Shoaib Belarouche will clear his lines and remains a goalkeeper who's only conceded once in this tournament and not twice. Seydou Dembélé, one-touch pass towards Njikwa Bamba. Perhaps it was a little early, but well read, but nonetheless by Hamza Bouhaddi. The Fus Rabat fullback, making his 17th under-17 appearance. Will it be a historic 17th cap for the right back? Soumaïla Fane, the recently booked winger, getting booed from the supporters, clearly not too pleased with his antics, and I don't want to sound too critical, but was definitely not an accidental use of the left hand. Surely knew what he was doing, and then when he went off to celebrate, also knew Let's move on now because Lamine Sinaba, the goalkeeper of Mali, has the ball in his own area and is in charge of restarting play for les Aiglons. But it is still a warning sign for les Lions de l'Atlas. They have to watch out for the runs behind their back. And it's also careful with how the movement of Njikwa Bamba is. Placed as a number 9, but likes to drop back down and use his pinpoint passing accuracy to stir trouble. The opponent's half. Oh, it's well done from Souleymane Doumbia. Really escaping. Oh no, excuse me, it was Mamadou Traoré. Interesting movement from les Aiglons de Mali. They're finding Mamadou Traoré, who started off as a right winger, positioned at the center circle. Njikwa Bamba on the right. Soumaïla Fane, who's a left winger, in the 9 position. Oh, it's well deflected. It's Soumaïla Fane this time. Unable to get a foot on it. And Hamza Bouhaddi goes down. Hopefully this isn't a reason to give another yellow card because Soumaïla Fane is on a booking. Oh, he does poke him in the face, but not a malicious bit of play from the number 13, Aiglon. Aiglon, which translates to small eagle. The senior side known as the Eagles or les Aigles. And there will not be a second booking, fortunately, for the supporters of Mali and for neutrals. Wouldn't like to see a final kick off their first half with a red card. Under an imbalance. Teco Roberté pushed off balance, lets the ball bounce behind him. Lamine Sinaba with a no-nonsense clearance, punting it out of bounds. Morocco have a rare chance of creating something through possession. They've struggled immensely in doing so, unless it's through the counter-attack, and they fail again. Souleymane Dembélé calling for a foul there. Did he receive? Did he get the call? It seems like he did. Oh, the tireless Lamine Sidiki Keita sending it forward. Soumaïla Fane going to battle, loses possession and trips up his opponent. Has to be careful, Soumaïla Fane, because he was on a yellow card. Something on the mind of Adama Diallo, excuse me, the manager. For Mali, as the camera focuses on Nabil Baha, his side are struggling. Did say that they were prepared for this moment. It's a moment we've been preparing for a long time, Baha said. Playing in an Africa Cup final is every coach, every player, and every supporter's dream. Playing it at home in front of your people makes it even more powerful. And as we see his people, or their people, are having a party. Still 0-0 after 30 minutes of play. Only 15 minutes left to go in this first half, and Morocco have a set piece in their favor. Acknowledging that there would be pressure. Nabil Baha said, because we're at home, but the boys are motivated, they want to go out and get this victory. We'll face Mali with respect, but without fear. So far seems to be the case. Of course, they're struggling to create offensively, but through the left foot of Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, can they find the solution? It's driven, and simply caught by Lamine Sinaba, who had to barely move his ground. Souleymane Dembélé surrounded by Lions de l'Atlas. Wins a foul. So tricky, Souleymane Dembélé. Nicknamed Messi by his teammates. Just 17, he's seen as one of the rising stars of Mali. He's been probably one of the better players of this tournament. He's man of the match in their quarterfinal victory against Tunisia. He's a product of the prestigious Jean-Marc Guillou Academy in Bamako. He dazzled in the qualifications as well. He was named the best player. You can just tell he just loves to be in the dangerous positions. And if there is one perhaps criticism I can have of Souleymane Dembélé, it seems that he's always interested in playing the final pass, getting the assist, or being at the end product. But at his age, it's incredible. Perhaps with maturity, have a little bit more patience. But what's without a doubt is he has unbelievable ability. Oh, it's well done by that connection of Wazan and Ben Mokhtar. They find each other again. It's a long 1-2. The forward Bailly's in space. He has to find the target here, and he doesn't. That's a shame because Ziad Baha had a pocket of space. And Morocco confirming that on counterattacks, they can find the keys. Set pieces haven't been so fortunate for them, but off the counter, especially when it's Abdallah Wazan and Ilyas Ben Mokhtar. Such a good connection between the number 8 and number 11 for the Lions de l'Atlas, but they aren't able to convert and get that final bit of quality in the final shot. That was good from the Lions de l'Atlas. Not surprising. Abdallah Wazan, 4 goals, 4 goal involvements for the number 8. 2 goals scored. Ilyas Ben Mokhtar has 3 goals scored as well. Those 2 players are such offensive outlets. What you'd like to see more, perhaps, is a little bit more of involvement by Ismail El-Aoud on the other wing. But here he is again, and Wazan. It's like he has glue at his feet, just unable to lose the ball. He manages to get across, and he left it late, and Morocco have a shot on target. Bailly attempted to do the back heel. The play's not over, and it's cleared by Soumaïla Fane. Unbelievable from Abdallah Wazan. Waited to the very last moment to send in a cross. Caught everybody by surprise. And was it El-Aoud who I just had mentioned I'd like to see a little bit more involvement from, who had his shot cleared off the line by not a goalkeeper, by a Malian player. It was El-Aoud. Yeah, and it was either Doumbia or Timo Koberté who stopped his volley. There were legs in the middle, and then Baha not really sure what he was attempting. He maybe wondered if he could have gone for goal, but he had other plans. And they're starting to gain confidence, Morocco. Also boosted by their supporters at home. This boiling atmosphere of the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. It's a stadium they know well as well. Their group stage matches were played here. Here are the dignitaries of the Africa Cup of Nations, of the Confederation of Africa in football, watching. It's been a very enjoyable opening 35 minutes of football played between these 2 powerhouses of youth football in Africa. Oh, it has to be dealt with better. There's going to be a chance. A volley. Final shot. Deflected, actually, by Ilyas Ben Mokhtar. It was the center-back Driss Aïtchir got the final shot. And you'll see it's Ilyas Ben Mokhtar who prevents it from being goal-bound. Much better, even off a set piece from the Lions de l'Atlas. Really settling in nicely from that moment on. They conceded that, how do I put it, cancelled goal scored from the hand of Soumaïla Fane. Here the Stade El Bachir Stadium is witnessing some greatness. Built in 1954, renovated in 2019, and it's usually home to the local side, SCC Mohamedia. It was actually named after a former Mohamedia player, Abdesalem Bachir, who was a promising young talent and passed away in a tragic accident, unfortunately. setting a stage for so many good matches. This one is no exemption. Morocco are also the 5th host nation to reach the final, along with Gambia in 2005, Togo in 2007, Algeria did it in 2009, and Rwanda in 2011. However, the last 3 hosts who reached the final, which are Togo, Algeria, and Rwanda respectively, all lost. Morocco would like to break the chain on that one. They have a tall order, because les Aiglons du Mali, despite being a little bit more on the back foot in the last few minutes, their goalkeeper Lasmine Sinaba hasn't had to make a save. And when they do settle in with possession, les Aiglons du Mali seem like they are able to find spaces. Yes, Ben Mokhtar, pass behind the back, and wonderful defensive intervention. So much maturity from that defender, Deboko Berté. Really liked his tournament so far. There's time left to be played today. Has so much serenity and calmness when defending. Abdallah Wazan. Oh, he just can't take the ball off of him. He is really unbelievable. The Joker, Abdallah Wazan, winning a free kick in a dangerous area for his side. On the edge of the box, setting up a cross, that's for sure. The ball won't have to travel long before it finds a recipient. Just charges at down the middle. Well, whenever he's charging with speed, it just seems like the ball is never going to leave his foot. Unbelievable, Abdallah Wazan, the number 8. Now it's going to be Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, player born in Ivry-sur-Seine in France. Wearing the captain's armband. Scored a double against Uganda in a 5-0 victory on match day 1. Signed a pro contract for AS Monaco. That goes to show you that there's confirmed potential in this young player. With his body language, it seems like he may go for goal. Let's see. Yeah, he will, but just put too much power on it. Perhaps not the best first half for Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. Squandered perhaps the best opportunity of the match in the opening minutes, and pretty wasteful with that free kick. Didn't disguise it nonetheless too well either. It seemed quite obvious he was always going to be going for that near post. Failed on the execution. Well won by Djikoua Bamba. Seydou Dembélé. He's going to make no mistake to get that pass to Mamadou Traoré. He's going to find the fullback Keita. Has to have quality on the cross. It's low. And the arms of Shoaib Belarouche extending to catch and kill the play from developing even more, because one touch was needed for it to be goal bound. Did really well in making sure that his gloves stuck to the ball there. The Mohamed VI Academy goalkeeper. Wadi wasting no time, doing it all on his own, driving down that right wing, the fullback. Shoaib Belarouche, the goalkeeper for Morocco's under-17 side, apparently was initially not even expected to be part of the team. Was called up and has been excellent since starting. His older brother, Alain Belarouche, plays for RC Strasbourg in France. He's also the under-23 goalkeeper, so runs in the family. He's attracting interest, apparently. Reports say that perhaps AZ Alkmaar and Panathinaikos, as well as Fus Rabat and RSB Berkane, are looking into adding Shoaib Belarouche to their ranks. Bright future for the 17-year-old goalkeeper, that's for sure. But will he be crowned a champion or just a finalist? That is yet to be seen. Issa Tunkara has to be careful here in possession, the captain. Gets away well there because he took risks. Wins a foul. He's captain against captain there. Issa Tunkara against Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. That's the center midfielder wearing the number 6 for Les Aiglons. Plays at the same club as the player about to take this free kick. Both Académie Étoile de Mandé. It's lofted high. Rouge didn't capture it of the first time of asking, but never really seemed nervous about it. Just so much calmness. You can see why he's attracting interest from the top clubs. Mali putting him under pressure. Morocco having to play out from their back. And they're lucky to get it back, but it's a bit ping-ponging. It's commotion. Mali and Seydou Dembélé especially will have a look through a free kick. They're good at set pieces, les Aiglons de Mali. Watch the semi-final against Burkina Faso. They got their second goal of the match through a free kick. They also caused havoc in their quarter-final against Tunisia. It was the header of Timoko Berté. Never found the target, but he was found. Coach Adama Diafra surely worked on this in the training ground with his players. Side that usually loves to have possession. They know they're going to be fouled in dangerous areas. It's a left foot of Souleymane Dembélé. It's well delivered. Timoko Berté, he meets it. And again, just like against Tunisia, unable to guide the ball to the back of the net. Undoubtable connection between Timoko Berté and Souleymane Dembélé from the free kicks. They're just not rewarded with goals at all. Oh, the movement was perfect, the delivery was too, but the finish lacking. Such a shame. Ilyes Ben Mokhtar gets away from one, gets away from two. That's beautiful there. One for the highlight reel, but in the end the fire was extinguished by Aboubakar Seriki Kamara. And a pocket of space opens up for the fullback. Timoko Berté scuffs his effort again, this time in his own box. That was a huge chance for Les Aiglons de Mali, maybe their best one of the half, coming from that set piece. Oh, he just never loses it. Abdallah Wazan, he plays it across the surface and forces the first save of the first half by Lamine Sinaba. Ziad Baha met the cross. What a moment that would have been, opening the scoring just before the end of this half. Lamine Sinaba really extended himself to his left, diving, getting low to push it out for a corner. It's going to be an in-swinging corner. Played short to Wazan. This time it's delivered with height. It was well met by the Les Aiglons defense. And not exactly sure if that was a foul, but the Mali player did go to ground. And referee Ancino is pretty certain of herself. Yeah, the quality of the cross by Dembélé. He actually never met it. Timoko Berté didn't make any contact. He was one to be looked for, that's for sure. He just has to work on that as he grows in his career, progresses. The Académie Étoile de Mandé, center back. Final minute of the 2 minutes of added time. Seydou Dembélé, Souleymane Dembélé, the left-footed magician. Finding Doumbia. Forcing a tackle from Issa Tunkara, excuse me. And it takes two Malian players to take away the ball from Abdelawazan. It works. Surprising everybody here at the stadium of Stade El Bachir. They were perhaps calling for a foul. Is he still on the ground, Abdelawazan? Yeah, that was a strong challenge from two very determined Malian defenders. Perhaps frustrated with the impact he's made on the match. Abdelawazan, he's been weapon number one, that's for sure. Great ability in his dribbling. The Ajax Youth Academy player, born in the Netherlands. And doing his best to offer a first ever under-17 title to Morocco. And that's the whistle for the end of the first half. It's 0-0 between hosts Morocco and visitors Les Aiglons de Mali. It's been an exciting encounter with some missed opportunities for both sides. Ilyes Belmokhtar perhaps had the best chance in the opening minutes when he presented himself against Lamine Sinaba, who comfortably saved his effort. Of course, Soumaïla Fane thought he had opened the scoring, or everybody in the stadium thought he had opened the scoring, except when we watched the replay, saw that he had used his hand to deflect a dangerous cross beyond the path of Belarouche, the goalkeeper from Morocco. From that moment on, Morocco did come back into the match, maybe had less possession, but through Abdelawazan, they were looking dangerous from set pieces and even open play. Finally, perhaps the best chance for Les Aiglons de Mali came through a free kick delivered by Souleymane Dembele's left foot, a teasing cross that didn't meet any players, but found them in a good position. Tightly contested affair between two sides that are powerhouses of the African continent. History will be made at the end of this match, that's for sure. Will it be Mali to lift their third trophy, or Morocco to lift their first ever under-17 Africa Cup of Nations? We'll find out after the halftime. Will it take penalties to separate the two sides, or will one player be a hero and open the scoring in the following 45 minutes of play? It's been an exciting encounter, as I said just a few minutes ago, here at the Stade El Bachir in Mohammedia. Stay with us after the pause. Statistics, Mali started off with about 69% possession, but it balanced out to 57-43. 10 shots in favor for Morocco to 2. 3 on target for Morocco to 0 for Mali. 11 fouls committed to 7. 2 corners to 1. 0 offsides, and it's been 1 yellow card apiece. Ziad Baha getting one in the earliest instances of the match, and Soumaïla Fane for his intentional handball. On one side we have Mali, who have been controlling the ball, seem to be patient, collectively intelligent, while Morocco, they rely on their intensity, the rapid transitions, and their ability to surprise under the watchful eye of manager Walid Regragui, coach of the Moroccan senior side. We'll see which philosophy ends up lifting the trophy here in Mohammedia. Stay with us, as we'll be back after the break. Highlights of the first half when it all took place at El Bachir Stadium here in Mohammedia. Les Aiglons du Mali taking on les Lions de l'Atlas of Morocco. One side with experience at this level, at this final stage. 2 trophies for Mali. Morocco reaching their second final in 2 years, but unsuccessfully lifting the trophy in their last attempt, losing 2-1 to Senegal. The first chance, and perhaps the best of the half, came into the feet of Ilyes Belmokhtar, served on a silver platter by Abdelawazan, but the finish was lacking. He had all the goal to aim for, but struck the palms and the chest of Lamine Sinaba, making a simple save in the end. And Djikoua Bamba would send in a teasing cross into the path of Soumaïla Fane, who for a moment celebrated as if he had opened the scoring here at the stadium. There were several protests from all the Moroccan players who were able to see it, and upon looking at the replay, it was visible to all that Soumaïla Fane illegally pushed the ball into the back of the net using his arm. The referee, apparently, upon consulting the video assistant referee office, and Ancino called it back, and then Timo Couberté, he had the chance to connect with the cross sent in by Souleymane Dembélé, failed to do so. A lot of Morocco's offense came from Abdelawazan, and he waited for the last possible moment to send in that cross into the path of Ziad Baha, forcing a save. Ziad Baha, who also missed a header earlier on in the first half. That was definitely his clear opportunity. And that would be all the action from the first half. Referee Ancino blowing her whistle. They're 45 minutes, but no goals here in Mohammedia.
Un continent s'est révélé pour nous, pour eux, pour lui, pour elle. L'heure est venue de dévoiler une nouvelle réalité. Vivons le jour, vivons la nuit, voyons le monde à l'infini. Rêvons d'avenir, de devenir, ce que l'on souhaite, où que l'on souhaite. Partageons nos passions, écrivons nos succès, exprimons tout ce que l'on est. Avançons sans limite puisque le monde est là et qu'il nous ouvre les bras.
Ici, on dit qu'on a des forces. Et c'est tout un métier de servir. C'est tout seul que vous êtes fait le quotidien. Et vous fournir de l'énergie qui se fait. Partout, tout le temps, sur tout le quotidien.
Un nouveau jour s'est levé, un continent s'est révélé, pour nous, pour eux, pour lui, pour elle. L'heure est venue de dévoiler une nouvelle réalité. Vivons le jour, vivons la nuit, voyons le monde à l'infini.
Welcome back to the second half. Went by quickly for me. I'm not sure if it went quickly for you. Very excited for the upcoming 45 minutes of football. At the end, there will be a new Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations champion. Will it be the team wearing red, known as the Lion de l'Atlas, Morocco, also the host nation? Or will it be the seasoned, experienced Little Eagles of Mali, will lift the trophy for the third time of their history, putting themselves into very rare air? It's the only Under-17 side to have won it more than 2 times. Mali started the half on the front foot. Of course, they conceded the best chance of the half. And it was Ilyes Belmokhtar who was unable to beat goalkeeper Lamine Sinaba. And they're searching for him immediately. It's dealt with by the fullback. Keita gets away from 1 and 2. Wastes no time in searching for Soumaïla Fane. But the ball drifts out of bounds. And it'll be the experienced Under-17 fullback Hamza Wadi to restart play from the throw-in. Benarouche, calm in possession, the goalkeeper. Still only conceded 1 goal the entire tournament, and he's featured in every single match. Testament to his skills, but also the defensive solidity of Morocco throughout this tournament that they've hosted all throughout. They've had pretty good results 11 goals scored. Of course, 5 of them came on match day 1 against Uganda. Had a 0-0 against Zambia, match day 2. Defeated Tanzania 3-0 on match day 3. Quarterfinals, they face off against South Africa. That's where Ismail El-Aoud, who had a very good chance in the half as well. The Valencia winger got a goal and an assist. And they drew 0-0 against Côte d'Ivoire and had to be separated via penalties. That's where Belarus made 3 saves. Of course, mention of penalties is important because after 90 minutes of play, there was no extra time. No 2 periods of 15 minutes of extra time. It goes straight to penalties. So fasten your seatbelts because we're on for another 44 minutes. Exciting under-17 football between 2 sides who have demonstrated that they are the best of the nation through this tournament. Mali weren't undefeated. They lost on their match day 3 encounter to Côte d'Ivoire, who eventually won the 3rd place match against Burkina Faso. If you followed that last night, that was a good encounter. Ended on penalties as well. Alinou Aïdara was one of the star performers for Côte d'Ivoire, as well as Dirasouba. They celebrated 3rd place, as they should. It's a lot of joy. Of course, 10 sides from the African continent will go on to represent, or will go on to were qualified via this tournament for the Under-17 World Cup, which will be taking place in Qatar at the end of the year, November. So mark your calendars between November 3rd and November 27th. 10 nations from Morocco, from this Moroccan tournament, will be present at the world stage, including the 2 sides that you see on your screen this very moment. Here's Dembélé, gets into the box, launches a shot on target and forces a save from the palm of Belarus. Oh, the skills on display by Souleymane Dembélé, awakening the stadium. He's just so electric, mystifying. And if it wasn't for the strong arm and palm of Chouet Belarus, he would have put his side up 1-0. On Belarus, another decisive save. Seems like there was Malian players all over the trajectory of that cross, but out of the crowd came the gloves of Belarus. Belarus call to action now, this time with his feet. Plays a calm pass to Zekri. It's going to be returned to the visitors, Les Aiglons. Morocco forced to defend in their own half, or deep in their own half. Clearing it for a throw-in. Scuffed effort by Soumaïla Fane, who distinguished himself in the first half by deflecting a cross into the back of the net. The goal was ruled for handball. Whether it was deliberate or not is up to your interpretation. From my point of view, it did seem like Soumaïla Fane knew very well what he was doing. And to follow along the action on social media, check out hashtag Total Energies AFCON U-17. Belarus again. So many involvements in the opening 5 minutes of this half. Of course, these 2 sides such different philosophies and styles of play, as we saw in the opening 45 minutes. Abdallah Wazan is the spark that creates the fire, so to speak, for Morocco, as he charges on and effortlessly finds his teammates, either with a layoff, a pass, or a cross. It was Ilyes Ben Mokhtar who benefited from so, as did Ziad Baha, the forward, who was booked in the opening minutes as well. Working well now. Look at the explosivity from the Moroccans. Ilyes Ben Mokhtar crossing with his weaker right foot. He's going to come back into a Moroccan midfielder. The shot lacked a little bit of venom. And this is who you do not want to see on the ball if you're a Mali supporter. Abdallah Wazan sends in an in-swinger. They escape well with it. Mali in quick transition, and Jikoua Bamba. He's going to use his physicality to keep the ball in play. He's being tracked, and he's going to win a free kick shortly. He believed he had one. The linesman, who had a great view of it, didn't think so. Pouncing on the ball is El Ramfoui. Going to ground with Timoko Berté, and he wins his duel against Abdallah Wazan. Oh, it's chaos. Players are falling to the ground all around the pitch. I could already count 3. This was the first challenge by Timoko Berté, leaving no prisoners. This was a chance from Souleymane Dembélé. Look what he did to get the ball away from the number 13 defender. And then sending a volley which was going to find itself just under the crossbar. Belarouche showing his reflexes as well as a steady glove. Abdallah Wazan was already challenged pretty strongly at the end of the first half. Didn't seem to be 100% when he walked off the pitch after the whistle was blown for the halftime, and now he's requiring some medical attention after a strong challenge by Timoko Berté. The Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations really is an opportunity to make a name for yourself. That there are stars that broke out in this tournament, even in recent history, especially in recent history. Fresh in the memories are names like Victor Osimhen, who was top goal scorer in the 2015 edition, which was won by Mali. Kelechi Iheanacho, 2013, went on to have an illustrious career in the Premier League. Bertrand Traoré for Burkina Faso now plays his club football at Ajax, but featured in the Premier League and Ligue 1, Europa League finalist as well, if I'm not incorrect. And for Mali, of course, Cheikh Doucouré, the 2021 edition, broke out as well. Earned a move to RC Lens, now playing his club football at Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Of course, Mali do have a culture working with their academies. And here they come. It's a good cross, it's lofted. The Mali players got in the way of each other. It's a volley on target, and Belarouche had to be on his guard because that was going goal bound. It was the left foot of Lamine Sidiki Keita, which was found by the other fullback. Didn't have the greatest of angles, but did so well to force a save from the goalkeeper. Didn't have to save it from the tip of his gloves, used the palm, so was on the trajectory. And that'll force a reaction from the manager, Nabil Baha. Nabil Baha, the former professional football player, played in France, Portugal, Spain. It was actually during his time playing in Malaga that his son was born. Ziad Baha, who is wearing the number 9 today. Again, in swinging cross from Soumaïla Fane. This time will he connect to the teammate? Oh, it seemed like he may have been going straight for goal. Ambitious and audacious attempt from the winger, who's high on confidence. In the semi-final, grabbed a goal and an assist against Burkina Faso, his second time doing so in the tournament. Did so in the 2-0 win against Central African Republic in the group stages as well. Soumaïla Fane. Forcing a response from Lamine Sinaba. This time it was the number 15 for Morocco, who was substituted on. Ahmed Mouroub, almost making a direct impact. Ahmed Mouroub. He replaced Disallowed at the break. Really took on that volley. There's a lot of quality behind it. It was bouncing. The trajectory was challenging to read, but Sinaba did well. Sign for les Aiglons de Mali to be careful. Of course, again, it's oftentimes Abdallah Wazan is at the source of the danger. And here he is again, Abdallah Wazan winning a free kick for his side. His control bouncing off the hand of Amadou Traoré. Strong challenge there coming in from Souleymane Dembélé. A little bit late, deemed by the referee of the match. Ancino, she saw enough to call play back and for Zekri to earn a free kick. We're seeing the wind starting to pick up here at the Stade Al-Bashir in Mohamedia. Will it impact the trajectory of the long balls? Surely. Who will benefit? Let's see. That was red and cut out by Souleymane Dembélé. He's going to have to keep on it though. Goes to ground twice. Still, with two players going to ground. I keep repeating myself, but Abdallah Wazan just dances away from them. Star power on this player. Reminds me a little bit of Soufiane Boufal when he had his full powers during his days at Lille and Southampton, and even had a successful 2022 World Cup. Just seemed like a player that when he got on his gears, you're either going to be watching him or you're going to be foolish trying to get the ball away from him. Keita working the ball towards Njukwa Bomba. Yellow carded in for the substitute Mouhoub. So very active opening 15 minutes for Mouhoub. Had a chance on target, and yeah, he really was late on Keita. Crunching tackle, and missed the ball completely. Rufus Rabat, youth player. making his 5th appearance of the tournament and picking up his 2nd yellow. We'll have to be careful for the rest of the match. Of course, the rest of the match is only 30 minutes because there will be no added time. Go straight to penalties if the sides are drawn. Mali have a free kick in an area where they know how to find players. Just has to be, it's really up to them to connect. The distribution and the service from the magical left foot of Souleymane Dembélé is always almost irreproachable. He just knows how to work that ball in ways that not many people do. And let's see it again. It's played short, and just like at the end of the first half, a spectacular effort from Soumaïla Fane. Wow. Shoaib Bouelarouche did not look completely serene and certain with that trajectory. There was power on it, that's for sure. What a goal that would have been had it found the back of the net. Amends would have been more than made for his handball in the first half if he would have lobbed the goalkeeper from outside of the box with his back facing the goal. Would have marked what's already been a memorable tournament here in Morocco for the Under-17 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations in a way that you wouldn't have been able to script. Long ball played into the back of the defense, and Aboubacar Siriki Kamara, who hasn't had to do too much, well, hasn't been called upon too much in this match. 14-year-old defender, the youngest player on the pitch, showing his pace. Mali, who are featuring in their 4th final. They've only lost one, and that was in 1997. He goes to Ghana, 3-1. And they had Stéphane Apia amongst their ranks. They are the most seasoned team at the African Cup of Nations at the Under-17 level. This is their 46th game in the finals of all since the beginning of the tournament. No side has played more than them. They've also reached the top 3 for a 7th time. No team will have made more top 3 finishes than them. So there is a legacy of championships and greatness for les Aiglons at the Under-17 level. Will continue. A lovely bit of technique and skills from the Lions de l'Atlas, however, at the middle of the pitch. It's Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. He's going to go for goal with his right, his weaker foot. Frustrating day so far for Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. The AS Monaco forward. He missed the chance in the opening minutes of the first half. Sent a free kick, which was in a pretty good area. Up and beyond the goal, and again, hands in the heads for the supporters behind the goal there. That's a pity. That's a poor ball from Ziad Baha. But Ilyes Ben Mokhtar was now on the left wing. He's changed sides. Second post. This is good. Here's Mouhoub. And Morocco just, nobody wanted to pull the trigger and send the ball into the box. But they do win a goal kick, a corner. The first half they were dangerous, and they now get their 3rd corner of the match. Here comes the left foot of Ilyes Ben Mokhtar. Hasn't been clinical so far, but still time to show that he has the quality. Misses everybody there. But it's poorly dealt with by Mali, and they pounce on it, the Lions. I'm not sure if that was a shot or a cross by the number 10 of Morocco, Amine Ouahibi. They come back so well, the Lions de l'Atlas, to stop a counter-attack. It's Keita stepping over, trying to trick his man in search of Soumaïla Fane. Incredible tackle by Hamza Bouadi. So much mastery over the ball. Using his heel to cut the trajectory of the pass. Of course, he also made contact with Soumaïla Fane, and in response to the two players going to ground, referee Twanyanyukwa Ansino will allow for the team doctors to enter the pitch. This will stop play for at least a couple of moments. Give time for the players to perhaps regroup, reassess their tactics as well. Yeah, Nabil Baha giving some instructions to his players. Mali to find themselves in the final yet again. It's simply not a stroke of luck. It reflects a very strong training model they have at their different academies. Think about the Jean-Marc Guillou Academy, where Seydou Dembélé currently is developing. It's been instrumental in producing stars like Ibi Souma, plays his club football at Tottenham Hotspur, Namadou Aïdara, who's the head coach at Damadi Diallo of Mali, who said that Mali has consistently returned to youth competitions in recent years. It is largely due to these academies. Another one like the Salif Keita Center, which remains a critical player in the journey as well. Just a legacy of greats like Seydou Keita, Mamadou Diarra. And they're working it forward. Les Aiglons into the box. MJ Kouabamba threw himself at the ball and came up short. You could see the hunger, the determination. Wasn't even sure if he was going to direct that ball towards goal, but threw himself completely, committed every inch of his body to make contact with that ball inside of the box. And it's not over yet. Soumaïla Fane is being well marked, I have to say, Soumaïla Fane, whether it's Hamza Bouadi or Brice Al-Sheikh. They're doing a really good job in preventing the winger from stirring too much from that left side. Here's the captain, Issa Tunkara, hasn't been too engaged in the second half from an offensive standpoint. Does like to have a shot from outside of the area, but I have to say it's been a little bit less electrifying football in the second half of the final. Nerves perhaps settling in. Of course, the weather has also shifted. We're seeing a lot more wind. Conditions are different. May also be fatigue. Of course, this tournament started with 16 sides on May 30th. It was Morocco who played in the opener of the tournament. It started with 16. They played in through group stage matches. Mali went all the way to penalties in their match against Tunisia in the quarterfinals. Morocco went all the way to penalties in their semi-final against Côte d'Ivoire. Oh, that was an ambitious clearance from the number 2 of Mali, but it's read by Ziad Baha, who does exceptionally well to keep possession. Lamine Sinaba looked nervous in capturing the ball there. There wasn't too many Lions de l'Atlas in the surface, however, so no consequence. And as you can see, the possession stats have completely shifted. At the end of the first half, it was Mali who had most of it, and they just have struggled to put their foot on the ball. Mali not exactly a side. Adama Diallo not exactly a manager. Will make too many substitutions. We'll see if he does. He does have options on his bench. Ousmane Saban is an offensive element. Could be called upon. Now the referee is getting busy here because Abdallah Wazan has gone to ground yet again. He's been the target of so many challenges, especially before he could really get on his skates. Just has so much star power, Abdallah Wazan, especially at this youth level. Really going to be one to look out for, and maybe catching the eyes of the viewers, the supporters, but also perhaps of the scouts. As I mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, over 200 scouts have been in Morocco throughout this tournament. We were able to see Arsene Wenger several times as well. Some of the biggest names in European and world football have been present. Oh, it's poorly cleared. And a last-ditch effort. And now Njikola Bamba has to be careful there because he's on a yellow card. Or was it Kunate? And Maroud still on the ground after being on the receiving end of a challenge. Yeah, it was Njikola Bamba. Got really high but made no connection with the ball. Knocked the lights out of Ahmed Mahoub. Perhaps the Moroccans are wondering why there's not a second yellow card brandished for Njikola Bamba. That may have been a second yellow card offense. Seems like she's made up her mind and will not cave into the influence of the Moroccans. It just looks like Wazan holding the ball. So casual and calm. Can he remain collected all the way to the point where he could beat the goalkeeper from this free kick? The manager as well is also calling for a second yellow card. That would be massive if Njikola Bamba wouldn't finish the match. He is their primary forward and striker. There isn't really anybody on the bench that can offer the same amount of presence and build-up play and execution. Njikola Bamba, 3 goals scored during this tournament and 5 goal contributions altogether. I think of his assist for Souleymane Dembélé against Tunisia. And now the hosts, do they seem like they're starting to believe that this could be a moment of magic? Abdallah Wazan, can he deliver? What the home supporters clearly are hoping for. If it's not from open play, this is an ideally placed free kick. One that every player, perhaps, of the caliber of Abdallah Wazan dreams about. 15 minutes left to play left in this final. Can this be the decisive opener? It's Wazan. It's deflected. He went for the low option, and the wall stood well. And they have to respond quickly. Ziad Baha, he's dispossessed, and it's going to be cleared. Only so far. As a Mahoub, whose second effort towards the goal misses the target this time. He's made an impact, that's for sure. Ahmed Mahoub, since coming on for Ismail El Aoud. Great tackle from the fullback Hamza Bouadi. He's been excellent in his coverage on that right side, making life so difficult for the Malian forwards. Of course, at one point, Lamine Sidiki Keita, the fullback, had a volley on target, but it's from a tight angle. Soumaïla Fane falling on the ball and curiously winning it back. And in front of the linesman, the assistant referee, Souleymane Dembélé, goes to ground, and she has to be careful here, the referee, Encino. The play is getting a little bit choppier, not as smoothly flowing as it was in the first half. starting to see fouls occurring much more frequently. Could be the nerves. Of course, these two sides not showing any animosity. Just a physical game. Ziad Baha was on the first one to jump on that free kick that was deflected. Unable to really create from it. Souleymane Dembélé sends it high and far. Doesn't cause any problems for the goalkeeper of the caliber of Chouaib Belarouche, who after the semi-final received the full praise from his manager, who said, "We owe this qualification to our goalkeeper, Chouaib Belarouche. He was truly the man of the match." Did warn that he has to keep his feet on the ground to continue growing, nonetheless. That's imprecise from Ilyes Belmokhtar. I don't like pointing fingers on the performers who disappoint, but it seems like Ilyes Belmokhtar is not having the performance he would have wished for coming into this match. Isn't dazzling as much as he did in the group stages. There's still time. About 12 minutes left of regulation. Of course, after the 90 minutes, the sides are still evenly matched on the scoreline as well. We'll go straight to penalties. Exercise where both of these sides have found success in this tournament, and it's crossing. Unbelievable defending in his own box from Timoko Berté. Had to make a deflection to that cross because Wazan danced into the box, sent in a driven cross with his left foot. He's just so tricky, Wazan. You never know where he's going to go. You really understand why he's nicknamed the Joker. Here he is again. Abdullah Wazan waking up the stadium. This time it's well read by Konaté. And Dembélé is going to try to get to the ball. Let's see this cross again. Yeah, it's Timoko Berté surely. Yeah, seems like he touched it with his shoulder, actually. But any deflection was a good deflection there because prevented Ziad Baha, the forward, son of the manager, to get the opener. Ziad Baha did say in the press that he watches his father's games to learn from him. Nabil Baha said sometimes I'm tough on him. I want to help him improve in his attacking play. Said that if he wasn't good enough, he wouldn't have been selected. He delivers when it matters, and his numbers speak for themselves, and that's true. Nabil Baha, Ziad Baha has 4 goals in this tournament. Had chances to grab one today. Lacked a little bit of efficiency, but it's not the only one. It's 0-0. Means that both sides have lacked that clinical final shot on target. Souleymane Dembélé on the delivery. It's going to be met by a Moroccan defender. Souleymane Doumbia is going to keep possession for les Aiglons unless he's pressed too high. Wins the throw-in, much to the surprise of number 18, Zakaria El Khalfoui. And there will be a throw-in for Mali. Sent in long. Berté this time makes connection. Frustrated that it didn't find and bounce all the way into the path of Soumaïla Fane. It's a tense second half. Maybe not the most entertaining brands of football. Not at all. As you can see, some uncontrolled passes Just nervousness, no side wants to lose it. Oh, but that's a mistake. Can it be capitalized on by Souleymane Dembélé? He was looking for Fane. Wins it back, and he's put to ground. In an interesting position for les Aiglons du Mali. Wow, there's more drama to this match with this free kick. It seems like the contact was so light by Nassim El Massoudi, who's been solid so far in this match, the Bayer Leverkusen defender. But is this foul that he's conceded, will they pay for it through a goal? Massoudi, who's been the leader of the defense throughout this tournament, usually so calm and has been in his defending, but also precise. Important to note that he plays his club football, Germany. Looks like it's Njikoua Bamba who's the most interested. It would be Souleymane Dembélé, but given the angle of the shot, it's more meant for a right-footed shooter. And so can it be Njikoua Bamba just peeking over the wall? Will it be his right foot to erupt the away section of the El Bashir Stadium here in Mohammedia? Write himself into the legend of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. There's so much distance. Surely he can't be shooting. He does, but it's completely over. A bit nonchalance in the way he approached that free kick. Seemed like he only took a step and a half before sending it over. Not sure really believed in himself. It's a shame because perhaps could have opted for the cross, but put yourself at risk of a dangerous Moroccan counterattack. The supporters here at the El Bashir Stadium really bringing in the atmosphere. Thibaut Berté, strong challenge by Doumbia, wins the ball, but also sends his man flying into the air. Souleymane Fane has to be careful, he's on a yellow card, can't overcommit himself. It just seemed like the Malian players were always on skates defending there. There's Souleymane Fane who lost his challenge, and Amadou Traoré this time forcing the referee to blow her whistle. Stop play. It's Yaya Fofana who's going to be coming on for the captain, Issa Tunkara. We haven't seen too much of in the second half. Yaya Fofana making his second appearance of the tournament. We'll have about 5 minutes more or less to influence the match. Berté just seems like a magnet for all the balls that are sent into the box, whether it's on the offensive or the defensive, but so unlucky to not make a contact with it in the end of the first half. Souleymane Dembélé tried to escape from the midfield challenge of Zachary El Khafoui, who's really been engaged in so many midfield battles. He's won some as well lost some, but it's for sure as you have to deal with him. Impressive performance from the Ajaccio Under-17 player. What can I say more about this player wearing the number 8 from Morocco? Just always looks like he's dancing. Not like a Brazilian, but he's definitely the biggest threat. He's being watched carefully by the fullback. Here he's on the move, and he did well there. Mamadou Konaté, to anticipate that they were going to be searching for him. It does seem like it's getting a little bit flagrant, but of course after 86 minutes of play, these two sides are starting to understand, well, have understood each other, it seems like. And unfortunately, it appears that they're looking content with a 0-0 draw. where the winner of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations will have to be decided via penalties. It's important to remember how Mali, in their penalty shootout against Tunisia, subbed off their goalkeeper Yannis Seko at the 93rd minute of play. Souleymane Dembélé, it's a good cross! And Njikoua Bamba was late. Whether it was the fault of the run being too late or the cross coming in too early, we'll have to see on the replay, but there was room behind the defense. What vision from Souleymane Dembélé. Oh, and that's maybe El Massoudi bowing out of this match. We're seeing number 14, Ilyas Hidaoui, getting ready to come on and make his first appearance of the tournament. One of 3 players that on the bench who have not appeared, and it looks devastating for El Massoudi. He's given it his all, and to not finish this match and this tournament. The psychology behind it. It's important for his teammates to feel that motivation to get that victory, not only for him but for their supporters, for their families. Is a stretcher required? If it is, then could be a very, very bad injury. Hopefully not. He made a good impression, Nassim El Massoudi. Did seem like number 14, Ilyas Hidaoui, was preparing to come on, so not a sudden injury. Coming off under the applause of the supporters here. Hassan El Bashir and Mohamedia. As the clock trickles down to the 90th minute, it's approaching. As I said, both sides look satisfied with the draw, but Mali are pushing to get that very late winner. Of course, Morocco also in this tournament, they've scored 11 goals. They've scored 3 in the final 15 minutes. But they've given the ball away there. Souleymane Dembélé unable to keep it in play. And good pressure from Les Aiglons, but even better possession play by Morocco. Decisive touch from Yaya Fofana, the substitute who's come on. And then gets onto the ball before the charging Ilyas Ben Mokhtar. Long ball finding Souleymane Dembélé, who's going to go for goal. Winning a corner for his side. Can there be a special set piece taken? Will we see something from the training ground? And it's going to be Issa Kone to come on. The second substitution of the match for Mali, who will be bowing out of the final. Is it Njikoua Bamba? No, it's Soumaïla Fane. So frustrated. He did have chances to put his side ahead. No player seems like they're too happy to leave a final at this level. But he gave his all, Soumaïla Fane. Instrumental in the semi-final, but he will not take a penalty. It'll be Issa Kone to come on and finish the match. And whatever's left of play is going to be offering more security, less of a speedy element, but has a little bit more physicality. And there will be 5 minutes of added time, perhaps to account for all the injuries. And he has people to aim for. Will it be Timo Couberté? Doesn't seem so. Ilyas Ben Mokhtar comfortably finding his teammate. It's a very long one, give and go, but it works out apparently. Ben Mokhtar goes to ground after the challenge by Souleymane Doumbia. Tensions flaring. We're moments away from a penalty shootout to decide who will lift the trophy of this under-17 African Cup of Nations. Will it be Morocco for the first time in front of their home crowd? Or will it be Mali to spoil the party and lift themselves up as the most titled under-17 side in all of African football? It's happened before. The last time these two sides met was in the semi-finals of the 2023 edition of the Africa Cup of Nations. Ended in penalties as well. Great anticipation from the 14-year-old Aboubakar Siriki Kamara, who's going to continue up his run on the top of your screen. Souleymane Dembélé taking so many touches, but finally dispatches it to the left. They're working it forward, Mali, probably in search of a corner, and they'll come up short. And the substitute who's just come on, Ilyes Idaoui, prompting his home supporters to make more noise. Confidently ushering the ball out for a goal kick. Belarouche, who made some decisive saves in this match. Send it long and away. For Wazan. It's an important ball to be won. And sloppy defending from Issa Kone just came on. Recklessly offering seconds for Morocco to reposition themselves and create an attack. It's Ben Mokhtar getting onto his preferred left foot, driving down the midfield, and he's going to be caught from behind. This time it's Lamine Sidiki Keita. They're not taking any more risks, Mali. Whenever a player turns and is charging towards goal, seems like the strategy is to cut them down. It's frustrating to watch for the neutral. See if they're made to pay for it. Nabil knows something that we don't. They have a play from a set piece this far away from the goal. It'd be something worthy of the highest order of set piece taking. If they're able to score from this distance, it's taken. Oh, it's still alive. Timoko Berthe won it. Acrobatic effort. It's not over. There's chaos. And finally, the referee, Ancino, blows her whistle. Ancino, excuse me. Calls for medical attention. Again, we've seen so many breaks in this second half for medical attention between these two sides. And Timoko Berthe, so much power he got away from the ball with such little momentum. He'll be one to look out for in the future, that's for sure. And it was kept alive by Mouhoub, and the acrobatic effort was attempted by Ilyes Idaoui. Now both captains, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar and Timoko Berthe, went to battle. Both worse for wear. Both will come back and return to action. Can't be too much at a time left. It's all up to referee Ancino. Very few substitutions made for each side. Only two each. Ilyes Idaoui and Ahmed Mouhoub from Morocco. Yaya Fofana and Issa Kone for Mali. It's cleared far from Sinaba, the goalkeeper. And Ancino blows a whistle for the last time in the regulation play, at least. It's 0-0 after 90 minutes plus of football between the host nation Morocco and visitors Mali in this final match played at the Stade Al Bashir and Mohamedia. And the drama is yet to begin. there will be penalties to decide who will lift the trophy of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. It was a first half that was more exciting, more open play. Both sides were able to impose their philosophies of football, or at least showcase it, so to speak. The second half, both sides shut the door, didn't allow for too much offensive expression to take place, and more of a defensive masterclass on display by both sides. Credit has to be given to the defenders for both teams, and even the midfielders. They didn't make it pretty, but they made it effective, because both of these teams have given themselves a chance of lifting the trophy via penalties. Lamine Sinaba didn't partake. The goalkeeper for Mali did not partake in the penalty shootout where Mali won against Tunisia. That was an affair that ended 9-10, if I'm not mistaken. Only one penalty was missed, and it was by Soumaïla Fane, who exited the pitch. Morocco, on the other hand, defeated Côte d'Ivoire, and some of their players definitely missed. I believe it was Abdallah Ouazzane and Ilyas Belmokhtar. They were able to rely on their goalkeeper Chouaib Bellarouche to make 3 saves against Côte d'Ivoire in that semi-final. So very different approaches. We have a goalkeeper from Morocco who has made saves in the semi-final after a 0-0, so almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the semi-final. While for Mali, we have a goalkeeper who is only making his 3rd appearance of the tournament. Didn't participate in the penalty shootout, but Mali's players did not miss any penalties virtually, except for one. So very intriguing what we have in store. Who can keep their nerves from the spot? Seems like the sun is coming out again here in Mohamedia. Ilyas Belmokhtar, the captain, positioned to partake in the coin toss, which is important because we're going to see, well, it will determine which team will shoot first, but also which side they decide to take their penalties. Of course, there's an away section, which is on the left, while the home section is on the right. Moment of unity shown on your screen amongst les Aiglons de Mali. They are on the cusp of making history and winning the all-important, well, and also trailblazing 3rd Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations trophy, while Morocco can get their very first in their history. It's only their 4th appearance as well. They'll be able to count on Seydou Dembélé, who missed a penalty from open play in a match against, I believe it was Côte d'Ivoire, but in the shootout against Tunisia, converted. Let's see who's going to take the penalty first. The Mali, it's Morocco who are deciding for Mali. Yes, Belmokhtar winning the penalty, winning the coin toss, and opting to give Mali the opportunity to shoot first. So it's les Aiglons who will be the first to shoot, which means that it's a Moroccan player who will either get the winning goal or the missing penalty. Changes a little bit of the psychology behind everything. If you're shooting last, it means the shooter is the one who will get the glory of the final spot kick, the winning spot kick. But it also means that the goalkeeper of Mali will also be the one to be in a position to be the hero. Looks like it's Ndjikoua Bamba presenting himself to take it from 12 yards. a little bit quiet in Njikwa Bomba this match. 3 goals scored throughout the tournament, 2 assists. Had a free kick opportunity, but sent it high. Has to focus a lot more than he did, as he is going to be taking the opening spot kick. Can't let himself get distracted by the boos resonating inside the stadium, the Mubashir Stadium, as well as the mind games by Chouaib Belarouche. It's one-on-one. Njikwa Bomba taking several steps back. Slow steps forward. And he sends it beyond the reach of the diving Chouaib Belarouche. Guessed correctly, but too much quality on that finish. Beautiful penalty by Njikwa Bomba, who gets us started in this penalty shootout. For those of you who are new to the rules, it's a best of 5. And then some swagger and attitude from Njikwa Bomba, calm in his penalty taking. That'll be the last bit of football that we see from Njikwa Bomba. He bows out of this tournament with 3 goals scored and made an impression. Ziad Ba, striker who plays his club football in Betis, born in Spain but representing Morocco, 15 years of age. Also the top goal scorer of this tournament for his side. Different approach than Bomba, going straight for it. Rifles it to the top of the net. Incredible trajectory of the ball. Never really looked like he was interested in missing. Ice in his veins, Ziad Ba. See it again. Oh, that's a thing of beauty, isn't it? Even 2 or 3 goalkeepers wouldn't have stopped that one. No chance for Lamine Sinaba to make that save. Who's next? It's Lamine Sidiki Keita. Lamine Sidiki Keita, who's so calm in his football, but runs so much. Getting ready, shifting, and the movement of Chouaib Belarouche was too much for Lamine Sidiki Keita. Looked like he doubted in his run-up. Oh, the movement of Chouaib Belarouche. If you let it get to you, he'll punish. And just like Yassine Bounou from Morocco in 2022, at the World Cup against Spain, penalty shootouts often come down to intuition and a bit of luck, and this time it seems like Chouaib Belarouche had the intuition to make that save. And now it's going to be Zachary El Halafoui, the French under-16 youth international, now playing for Morocco. He's running up with speed, slots it to his left, sends the keeper the other way, and Morocco are now leading 2-1. All they have to do is convert the rest of their penalties from this point on, and they will be champions for the first time and lift the trophy at home. Mali are now under pressure immediately. Courtesy of Chouaib Belarouche. Issa Kone, the substitute who came on the 90th minute, facing the lasers. Can he keep his cool and his focus? He does it. It's another save. It's unbelievable. Chouaib Belarouche. My, oh my. Send the crowd into a frenzy, and the away section is completely quiet. Oh, it's a poor penalty, but what a save by Chouaib Belarouche as well, using his arms to extend. But at mid-height, it's just lacking a little bit of quality that you'd expect to see in a final. Maybe the nerves getting to the best of him. It's a number 10 for Morocco. Stuck to his line was goalkeeper Lamine Zinaba, and it's Amin Ouebi getting the third goal. And now, before you know it, if Mali missed this penalty, it's all over for les Aiglons. And les Lions de l'Atlas will be able to commence their rapturous celebrations. Timoko Berté played a very good match, perhaps missed one of the best chances for les Aiglons in the first half. Doesn't seem like he's going to have a very long run up. Or he will. Completely misanticipated that one, did I? Here he comes, slow. Can he win the mind games? He does. Perfectly slotted into the bottom corner. Seems frustrated. Of course, it only keeps his side in the match temporarily. And the winning penalty could come now. In the best of 5 rules, if you miss 2 penalties and your opponents score 4, it's curtains. This time Troy Bellarouche, who did so well, still gets the right way for all the penalties he's conceded, but saved 2 out of 4. Pretty strong record, and it's Ilyes Belmokhtar, the captain. Can he be the hero? Didn't have the best match, but he can send the crowd into a frenzy. Ilyes Belmokhtar, is he the hero? He chips in and he does! Ilyes Belmokhtar, ice in the veins! Like Achraf Hakimi did in 2022 for Spain and against Spain and Qatar. Ilyes Belmokhtar opts for the chip and wins the tournament. Les Lions de l'Atlas finally lift the trophy. They got so close in 2023, lost to Senegal. They make no mistake in the penalty shootout. The hero is Troy Bellarouche and Ilyes Belmokhtar. Everybody kept their cool in the shootout. And the Stade El-Bachir in Mohamedia is exulting. The hosts have won. They've broken the chain. The last 3 times the hosts reached the final, Togo, Algeria, and Rwanda, they lost. But now it's les Lions de l'Atlas. They've done it. They have successfully won the Under-17 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations in 2025, and it was against a valiant Mali side, who perhaps could regret not getting more in the second half. Settled to go to the penalty shootouts and just struggled to convert. So unfortunate. Their goalkeeper also perhaps committed way too early on that 4th penalty. Unbelievable scenes as the trophy shall be lifted by the Lions de l'Atlas. Here, as the setup is taking place for the trophy to be lifted, it ends 4-2 for Morocco. And Nabil Baha has finally brought a trophy back, building on the work that was put in place by the previous manager. He took over in 2023. Nabil Baha has brought players and assembled them coming from different countries. Players born in London, the Netherlands, France, playing all throughout Europe. This is an ambitious idea, but it's panned out. And under the watchful eye of their senior manager, Walid Regragui, scouts, supporters, family members, they've done it. They have done it. Saïd Chiba, who led the side to the final in the 2023 edition against Senegal. They faltered 2-1. Baha built on the remarkable work, laid on the foundation for a competitive team. He gives the credits to Saïd Chiba, but he will be the manager remembered for having won the trophy, Nabil Baha. A side that scored 11 goals throughout the tournament and conceded 1. And Adama Diafra Diallo consoling his players. It's going to be a very long night for them. Mali bow out of this tournament in the final. They did well to get here. It was a difficult road, taking on Tunisia, which was a valiant side, defeating Burkina Faso. And initially, their ambitions were just to get to the final. They did so, and they actually almost had the chances of winning it all. But nonetheless, it's les Lions de l'Atlas who will be celebrating all throughout the night. Trophy in their hands. And here the supporters at the El Bashir Stadium witness a Panenka for the winning penalty. Congratulations to the Lions de l'Atlas. And he almost thought never for a moment did I doubt that Ilyes Ben Mokhtar's chip was going to go into the back of the net. Once I saw the goalkeeper dive so quickly to his left. Congratulations are in order for Morocco. And then you can also be proud of their cup run, arriving all the way to the final. Scenes of celebrations, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, man of the match, rightfully so. Chouaib Belarouche. He'll be interviewed as is custom.
ميرسي شعور زوين ديال كاس افريقيا اول جناس داز كاس افريقيا وكنبغي نشكر الفريق ديالي اللي كوت في المعطيات كل شيء وهنيئا للمغرب والله.
Quick and efficient interview of the goalkeeper Chouaib Belarouche, back-to-back man of the matches, and wouldn't have bad odds to imagine him winning player of the tournament. Surely the goalkeeper of the tournament. And the celebrations continue on for the supporters and the team of Morocco as a stage is being built where the individual as well as the collective awards will be distributed. Walid Regragui has now found himself on the pitch and taking pictures with the coaching staff of the under-17 side. It's his son, Ziad Baha. What a moment. The father-son duo winning an under-17 title together. Ziad Baha will even be of age to participate in the next under-17 Africa Cup of Nations, given that he's only 15 years of age. But of course, that would probably be not in his plans. Route Betis forward. Surely aiming to play for the higher, older age groups by 2027. But Morocco will be a force to reckon with at the upcoming under-17 World Cup, which will be taking place in November in Qatar. Mali will also be there, as well as 8 other African teams. And 48 teams in total. All of them are known by now. It's a delight to see these young players making memories that will be unforgettable in their careers. Perhaps not all of them will go on to play at the elite levels of European or even African football, but at this stage, they've accomplished something great. Think about Ahmed Mouhou, the substitute who came on, made such a good impact as well. Rumored to perhaps sign for Denmark. Amin Wabi scored the 3rd penalty. Signed his first professional contract with the Belgian club Mechelen. Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, who is pro AS Monaco. Player that we didn't see featured today, Ibrahim Rabaj, London-born and plays for Chelsea. Of course, Ziad Baha and Ismail Alaoud, both playing their club football in Spain for Betis and Valencia, respectively. And then Belarouche, who is under the watchful eye of so many scouts. See where he ends up. And they've broken the curse on the coast of Morocco when the hosts have contested the final. Previously, they have lost it 3 times. The only time that a team that hosted won the final at home was the Gambia, and that was in 2005. Morocco also winning a penalty shootout. It's their 3rd win in 4 shootouts. 2013, they lost the 3rd place playoff game against Tunisia. That was 11-10. They beat Mali in 2023 as well. That was a 6-5 ending. And then, of course, in the semi-finals, they won on penalty shootouts against Côte d'Ivoire. That ended 4-3. Shoaib Belarouche, who got his 5th clean sheet of the tournament today. Impeccable result, an impeccable tournament for the 17-year-old goalkeeper, only conceding once. That was in the quarterfinals. And of course, Mali can be disappointed with the outcome of the match and the result, but never seemed like to get their offense going at full throttle. Lots of credit must be given to the midfield and defense of Morocco, who put a cap on that explosivity that Mali had against Burkina Faso, that we saw against Tunisia, that we saw in the group stages. They were sound defensively from the set pieces as well. One player that really caught my eye, at least, was Abdallah Wazan. What a talent the number 8 for Morocco is. Didn't even take a penalty. My best guess was that he was slotted to be number 5 in the list of 5, but Iyad Ben Mokhtar sealed the win with the 4th. Here comes the trophy of the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations. And
the Total Energies Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 medals and trophy ceremony. نرجو منكم الترحيب بالدكتور باتريس موتسيبي رئيس الاتحاد الافريقي لكرة القدم.
Just in a few moments, it will be lifted by the captain, Iyad Ben Mokhtar, surrounded by his teammates, surrounded by the coaches, in front of all the supporters, the families, the friends, the previous acquaintances, as well as just supporters of the Morocco Under-17 national team. This is such a moment of pride for youth football in Morocco as they host the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations. And as we also see the executive committee of the CAF arriving. There's Dr. Patrice Motsepe from South Africa, the president. Also recognize Augustin Senghor, executive committee member from Senegal. They'll be there to present the medals and trophies. Fouzi Leka as well, the Moroccan community member is there. The sunglasses at the center. Surely the happiest of the party. Here comes Issa Tunkara to accept the first award. Mali will pick up the Fair Play Award. Distinctive for being clean, not conceding too many yellow cards or course, there was that blemish where the hand of Soumaïla Fane pushed the ball into the back of the net. And of course, this player here, the star man of the match, Chouaib Belarouche, not winning player of the tournament, but winning best goalkeeper. Player of the tournament, or is it the Golden Boot? It goes to Aligno Aïdara, the Côte d'Ivoire striker. Scored 4 in the opening match, if I recall correctly. He even scored against Mali, a double. Scored in the penalty shootout yesterday as well. He's an impressive talent, Aligno Aïdara. And now the player of the tournament, without surprise for me, is Abdallah Ouazzane. What star pedigree he has. Abdallah Ouazzane just seems like when he was driving towards the goal, no one ever is ready to stop him, at least at this level. Love to see him challenge at the higher echelons of football. He'll be one to look out for. He plays his club football for Ajax. I suggest all of you viewers who are interested in keeping up with the talents and the promises, keep an eye on him, because he's really one of the top talents. And he lit up the match, that's for sure. During times, especially when Morocco were suffering against the Mali possession, he made the difference and made Mali question everything. The officials receiving their medals as well, the top ones. What a year in 2025 it's been for Namibian referee Tanyan Mukwo Ansino. She made history by being selected at the Confederations of African Football to officiate at the African Nation Championship 2025. And 33 years of age, she's really making strides as an official, especially a female referee. She made the right call in canceling the goal scored by Mali. And unfortunately, there weren't too many other contentious issues. Just a second half that was marred by several stoppages in play. Medical teams breaking onto the pitch as well. Lacked a little bit of that free-flowing football that we saw in the first half. But in the end, the final isn't about the spectacle. You play a final to win one. And that's exactly what the hosts did. Here's Côte d'Ivoire receiving their bronze medals. They won their match against Burkina Faso yesterday, celebrated on the pitch, but only now do they receive their bronze. Now it's time for Mali to approach the podium and receive their silver medals. To the team photo of Côte d'Ivoire, Aligno Aïdara holding up his golden boot. Mali, yeah, this is going to be sore for them. Some players don't even like to keep on to their silver medals. Yeah, as we see number 5 removing his almost immediately. Oh no, he kept it on, Aboubacar Kamara, excuse me. But Issa Kone not deciding to wear it. But they still should be proud of their cup run. They really did showcase and honor Malian football. Hopefully we see some of these players continue on their careers at the highest levels. But tonight will be one where they'll wish the result was the other way around. This team photo they'll look back on. They'll remember, hopefully they remember the journey, not the destination. Because they did dazzle with their football, and under their manager, Adama Diallo. Had a very difficult journey. Beat top opponents. Their group was difficult as well. Angola, Central African Republic, and Côte d'Ivoire. Tunisia in the quarterfinals, and they finished second in their group. But they'll be back for the World Cup. New opportunity to perhaps fix some things and make some adjustments for Adama Diallo, especially in these high-pressure matches. They were so close, only penalties separated them. And now the moment that all the home supporters have been waiting for, the gold medal presentation and trophy celebration for the Lion de l'Atlas. It's Nabil Baha checking hands with Fouzi Ekia. Does seem the happier of the bunch, doesn't he? It's Dr. Patrice Motsepe, South African president of the African Confederation of Football, who's placing the medals on each player. He's done so, followed by a handshake and then the medal, excuse me. These, however, the gold medals, all players wish to wear with pride and love to brandish. Final player to be receiving his gold medal will surely be the captain, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, as his teammates will position themselves around the cup. And these photos, these are ones that they will look back on today, tomorrow, time and time again. Unforgettable memories from this final.
نرجو منكم الترحيب بقائد فريق المغرب.
And now that Ben Mokhtar, Ilyes Ben Mokhtar has received his medal, shook all the hands of all the officials,
please welcome the captain of Morocco.
He will receive
the trophy of the Total Energies Under 17 Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025.
He will receive the trophy from the executive committee after taking a photo with them. He's just seconds away from the moment that he's probably been dreaming about for the last weeks or even months. Ilyes Ben Mokhtar, step by step, getting into position. Your champions of the Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations 2025 are Morocco. They've done it for the very first time. They reached the final 2 years ago. This time, they make no mistake and bring it home. And home is not very far because they've done it on home soil. Morocco are your 2025 Under-17 Africa Cup of Nations champions after defeating Mali in the final on penalties, 4-2. And it's time for them to go celebrate with their supporters, their families. Go around the pitch. The away section of Mali has emptied out, as understandably so. Not exactly favorite scenes to watch your opponent celebrate, but certain have kept good vibes, as we can see. The coaching staff, it's a job well done for them, especially how they prepared their penalties. Seems like he had it all understood. Again, in playback, the celebration, they all jumped at the same time in synchronization. Magical scenes. Much deserved from a Moroccan side who played their heart out. Didn't concede any goals today or in the semi-finals. Didn't score an open play, but converted each of their penalties. And this under-17 generation is special. They'll be heading into the World Cup in November. High on confidence, especially if they're led by that player number 8, Abdellah Wazan. The belief can be high. And it's very promising for the senior level as well. They have talent at all levels. And now it's confirmed that the under-17 really is. As we see the number 7 for Chelsea. Ibrahim Rabach, who didn't feature in the final or the semi-final, but made a strong impression in the opening matches of the tournament. He'll be one to look out for sure. As they return for another photo. See the impact of the wind, how the flag is being pulled away towards the right. Fitting song, We Are the Champions, playing for this final photo as we're played off. These Moroccan under-17 players are champions, led by coach Navid Baha, who assembled a talented group. Expectations were high from the start as they were the hosts. Host nations in recent history have never won the tournament, but they did it. Accomplished something that was very rare. And they took on the best of the best. Saved by goalkeeper Chouet Belarouche, but also led by technical players like Abdellah Wazan, Ziad Baha, and Ilyas Ben Mokhtar, and a defensive solidity led by Nassim El Masoudi. Final statistics of the match was even on possession, basically. Morocco had twice the shots, 18-7. 6 of them were on goal to 2. 18 fouls committed to 15, most of them in the second half. 3 corners to 4, no offside calls, 2 yellow cards apiece. And then when it went to penalties, it would be the unfortunate Issa Kone to miss the 3rd. Lamine Sidiki Keita, the fullback, would miss the 2nd. All of Morocco's players would score theirs. It would be Ziad Baha, Amin Wabi, Zakari El Halfoui, and then the final one, Ilyas Ben Mokhtar. And this is the road to the finals. You see, Morocco conceded their only goal of the tournament against South Africa in the quarterfinals. Then they went on to penalties to defeat Côte d'Ivoire. And then in penalties defeated Mali, who on their journey won on penalties against Tunisia. Beat Burkina Faso in open play, well, in regulation time, 2-0. It would be Soumaïla Fane, the star player of that match. Fortunately, the clash between these two sides would not result in any goals scored in regulation time, but delivered for a high quality and thrilling penalty shootout where we saw excellent goalkeeping from Chouet Belarouche throughout the match, but also throughout the shootout, and ice cold finishing